Hello and welcome to Toad Rolls Dice, where today we're going to take another look at Warhammer Quest Darkwater, which is available to pre-order now. I believe it's still available to pre-order 24 hours after they went live. Well, it seems to be on Games Workshop anyway. So fingers crossed, if you did want one of these, you've been able to get hold of one from wherever you purchase your hobby goods. Let me know in the comments. But with this one, we're going to take a look at what could be our final adventurer's guide. This one focusing on the villains of this incredible looking new Warhammer Quest box. This is an adventurer's guide to Warhammer Quest Darkwater. Meet Gelgus Pust and his foul flock. Warhammer Quest Darkwater is available to pre-order. We'll skip the next bit because it's not relevant, which means you've just enough time to learn about Gelgus Pust and his followers before you need to start rolling dice against them. Still true, it's 2 weeks away. We've covered the setting itself, the heroes you can play as, and the basics of how the game plays, how your adventure might unfold, and even had a designer's commentary. So let's take a look at the robust welcome party Gelgus Pust has created for you. Every Warhammer Quest game needs a basic level enemy for your heroes to carve through with reckless abandon. And Maya Kelpies are the critter du jour for Darkwater. Born from the corruption festering in the Jade Abbey, these barely sentient spirits can be a problem when encountered in groups thanks to their tenacity to spit gunk at anything in sight, which can ensnare and bind its targets. Heroes should take extra care when exuberantly carving them up, as they have a tenacity to explode in a shower of acrid slime. So take them out at range. They say you should dress for the job you want, not the job you have, and that's why pox wretches wear cyclopean masks reminiscent of the Plague Father's demonic followers. Giving up their sight means their sense of smell is heightened, able to cut through the rot and grime of their surroundings to sniff out anything clean, such as questing heroes. They prefer to gang up on their foes, acting together in large groups to overwhelm their enemies with rusted farming equipment and crude weapons. I really like the sort of design aesthetic of these, obviously taking away the sight is a game mechanic as well. But what a cool little nurgly thing, they don't need eyes because they can smell the cleanness of a creature. Such a cool little twist, something I'd never really considered. Drawn from the stock of beastmen that still linger in the dark tangles of Gairan's wild forests, so it is confirmed that beastmen are still around in Age of Sigmar. Not that they wanted you to believe that in 4th edition, did they? Pestigors are foul creatures with bloated bellies and matted fur, who view the Jade Abbey as a stain on the land rightfully belonging to Nurgle. More resilient than pox wretches, these vile-smelling mutants work each other into a frenzy with their phlegmatic braying. That just sounds gross, doesn't it? You can hear that. No, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. If you think that sounds nasty, wait until the hacking and bludgeoning starts. I don't know. I think the phlegmatic braying is worse. That you can hear them coming and no, don't want to hear that. Each Blight Templar is a mountain of fused flesh and muscle that can easily withstand grievous injuries, chuckling gutturally all the while. In devotion to the Plague Father, they have absorbed diseases and pestilences that would ruin other mortals, and stomp onto the battle with vile liquids leaking from beneath their rusted armour. Each Blight Templar fights in its own unique way. Oh, cool. Watch out for the chap with the mace hose aura of rot. Strips armour, and the fellow with dual axes who uses his intestines as a lasso, dragging targets close. Yep, you read that right. So the axes guy, dual-wielding axes and throwing out his intestines like an incredibly nurgly scorpion from Mortal Kombat is just gross. I'm not entirely sure about this aura of rot that strips armour, but that doesn't sound good when you probably have more close combat heroes than ranged heroes for this game. Born from land that has suffered grievous injury in the hands of Nurgle worshippers, Cankerborn are three-headed demons with tough hides and colossal rusted weapons. Their rotten forms exude a stench so unimaginably heinous that it can bring charging adventurers to a halt, which is bad news as a single swing from their huge weapons can easily rake across a group of heroes. Oh no. Good luck if you need to take 2 of these on. Oh no, that doesn't sound good, does it? There are also a number of cunning and difficult bosses you will encounter in your journey through the Jade Abbey. First up, The ardent devotee of decay and ruin, Shaman Foulhooth rules over the herd of pestigors known as the Flyblown, who wander the lands as ambulating vectors of contagion. It is Foulhooth's rituals that gave birth to the Cankerborn, a secret Pust has since stolen. His powerful incantations of rust and ruin can corrode equipment, force heroes to discard their hard-earned reward cards, and he can turn the land into a cloying, sucking quagmire that is a nightmare to wade through. Oh, he is not going to be good to fight, is he? Mulgoth the Cleaver is Pust's #1 lackey. A bitter and nihilistic soul who hates beauty and purity almost as much as he loves snapping spines with his mutated arm. Rumour has it he was once a knight of nobility who was shunned when he contracted the weeping pox, which might explain why he hunts down heroes with such grim purpose. When he has someone in his grip, he will methodically whack away at them until he's satisfied that the punishment has been meted out. So does he, focus on heroes? So it sounds like he nominates someone and all of his attacks go into them until they're not moving anymore. If that's how he plays, that's a really interesting game mechanic, and one that you, as players working together, potentially able to utilize to your strength, but it might hurt someone specifically. I like it though, it's a cool idea. In times long past, Belga was a high priestess of the Jade Abbey, who sided with Pust during his rebellion in exchange for stewardship over the Everspring. Things didn't go to plan, and Alariel's sanctuary remains off-limits to Belga, who has since been driven mad by her new form. Two of her former sisters are flesh melded into this new guise, tending to the pestilent cauldron she carries around, or inflicting upstart heroes with withering diseases while she burrows within the dank ruins of the Jade Abbey. It's just a gross model, and I kind of love it. And then on to the big poster boy for Nurgle in this box, I guess. What more needs to be said about Gelgus Pust? He's an overly ambitious fiend who betrayed the Jade Abbey out of envy and fortified his soul to Nurgle in return for a towering new form. This vile demon prince is an unstoppable force of rot and entropy, able to smash through obstacles and heroes alike. Any encounter with him is a race against time as he gains more strength from watching those around him suffer the despair of battling his blessed might. No wonder he has such a wonderful smile plastered across his face. And if you've seen the back of this model, he actually has wings as well. Such a nice model. These Nurgle-worshipping rotters are ready and waiting to bring you into the Grandfather's embrace in Warhammer Quest Darkwater, but they're not stopping there. When Battle-Toe Maggotkin of Nurgle lumbers into view, Gelgus Pust, Belga the Sistwitch, Shaman Foulhooth, the Cankerborn and the Pox Wretches will all be joining the fight in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So Maya Kelpies not. The Pestigors are already getting a unit, so you can just use those as Pestigors. And the Blight Templars, I think, are getting a unit as well. So they will have separate models for Age of Sigmar, but you will be able to use the ones in Warhammer Quest as well. Probably should have read further, because it does go on to say that. You can even scatter your Darkwater Pestigors into the new unit of Lumpen Beastmen who are on their way if you wish. We're sure they'll appreciate the herdmates. Before you reach the gates of the Jade Abbey to vanquish this court of pox-laden villains, there's still time to explore in the Forge Your Destiny journey, which is emailed out every Friday. It's probably stopped now. If you've not already been taking part, you can race through all the previous scenarios, and you can even check out posts on the official Warhammer Instagram page to find out what decisions other adventurers have made. That was a fun little email campaign with a little bit of lore and stuff about the Jade Abbey. It's a nice little way of drip feeding to the pre-order. But these models are just incredible. I think Mulgoth, is my favorite. But I think all of these four, certainly the four named models, are all incredible. Really do like the Cankerborn. I like the Blight Templars. I like the Pestigors. I like the Pox Wretches as well. I mean, there's a theme here, isn't there? And you know I love the Maya Kelpies. They're just great. I think for enemies, and I can't remember how many you get of each, but I think you get a decent selection of each of these. And obviously, in some form, when the Maggotkin of Nurgle comes out, you're going to be able to pick up extras. Certainly the Cankerborn, Pox Wretches. I wouldn't be surprised if the heroes are individual, but I can see, I don't know how they'll do it. It depends what quantity they release them in and how you can run them in Age of Sigmar proper. But as a box, I am really looking forward to Darkwater. It's an incredible looking box. Previews have been great. It's so nice to have a Warhammer product that has such a low bar to entry. Basically, the only barrier to entry is the price tag, which is £160. That's what I'd heard. You can get it cheaper from friendly local gaming stores, and I would probably advise that you do, because while 160 quid I don't think is bad value when you look at the contents, it is still a big chunk of money, especially with Christmas around the corner. But either way, if you are wanting Darkwater, I hope you got a copy. Let me know in the comments below. And I also want to know, which of these enemies are you most looking forward to facing off and hopefully defeating when you run through your campaign? Let me know in the comments below. Quick note, I know this is at the end and I'm hopefully going to do a video about it, just a quick thank you basically, but a couple of days ago, I think it was Thursday, we hit 500 subs. We've actually just gone over 500 subs. Just amazing. The support from everybody that watches these videos, but especially the people who subscribe, comment, like, do all of the YouTubey bits. It is amazing. I am so grateful that you will allow me to do this. 500 subs, for those who don't know, is the first entry into the partner program. So I am now part of the YouTube partner program. I can monetize elements of my channel, not with adverts. It's memberships, super chats, all that kind of stuff. So obviously live streams and things, you can support that way. I'm not sure about the other ways yet. I'm still learning and figuring it all out. Not quite sure what we're going to do. And I don't want to monetize it aggressively. I want it to feel like you're actually getting something for the money. So I'm not going to rush into it, but I do have ideas. There's things that I want to do, and I will keep you guys in the loop as and when I kind of know what's going. We'll see if there's things that you want. Obviously a Discord server for the community. It might be a small community, but that's one of the first things that I want to get up and running when I'm happy with it. I don't quite know how we're going to fit that in, but I would like certainly the entry point of it to be available for everyone. Obviously it's going to have to be moderated, and that's going to be a big thing in itself. But that's one of the ideas that I have, but also off the back of that, I want to start playing games. I want to start recording stuff like that. And Darkwater feels like it's a great entry point for doing that and playing around with that and actually testing and learning. And then if it doesn't go so well, then hey, there's a campaign too, isn't there? And we can replay it. So it's all sort of coming together very nicely. And to be at the end of November having hit that target of 500 is just amazing. So thank you all for being here. Your support over the last 12 months, 11 months, however long we've been doing this properly, about 11 months I think, has just blown me away. So thank you all genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for helping me get to this point, but this is just the start. And as a community, we're going to continue to grow. It's all because of you. So thank you so much. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.